This is the short version of practice problem number 3 from lesson 2, naming the moves, and unit 1, rigid transformations and congruence. In this problem, you're given a rectangle in frame 1, and it rotates to its position in frame 2. And you're supposed to decide what that rotation is. How many degrees did this rectangle rotate, either clockwise or counterclockwise? And the number of degrees that you're given are 40 degrees clockwise, 40 degrees counterclockwise, 90 degrees clockwise, 90 degrees counterclockwise, 140 degrees clockwise, and 140 degrees counterclockwise. Now I changed the number of degrees from 40 to 45 because it's easier for me to draw 45 degrees than it is 40 degrees. 45 degrees is halfway between 0 and 90 degrees. And in the same way, I changed the 140 degrees to 135 degrees. And again, it is halfway between 90 and 180 degrees. And so the 135 degrees plus the 45 degrees lies on a straight line. That equals 180 degrees in the same way that 40 degrees plus 140 degrees does. So it's just a slight change, easier for me to draw. And so here's the rectangle starting out, and it rotates. Now this is a 45-degree rotation, and this is counterclockwise, the opposite way of a clock. This is a 90-degree rotation counterclockwise, and a 135-degree rotation counterclockwise. And of those three, the one that matches the image in frame 2 is this one right here. So one of the answers is 45 degrees counterclockwise, and it's written as 40 degrees counterclockwise. So 40 degrees counterclockwise is the correct answer. 90 degrees counterclockwise is not, and 140 degrees counterclockwise is not. Okay, so now we're going to rotate the rectangle clockwise and see what happens. So here it is starting out again. It's going to rotate 45 degrees clockwise, 90 degrees clockwise, and 135 degrees clockwise. Of those three, the only one that matches the rectangle in frame number 2 is the one that's 135 degrees clockwise. Now I wrote it as 135 degrees. Remember, in the problem it's 140 degrees. And that makes sense. 140 degrees plus 40 degrees counterclockwise adds to 180 degrees. So they're both just along this line, and they're in the same relative position. They both point in the same direction. So 40 degrees clockwise is not correct. 90 degrees clockwise is not correct. But 140 degrees clockwise is correct. So 40 degrees or 45 degrees clockwise, 90 degrees clockwise, and 135 or 140 degrees clockwise. This is the correct answer. And just one last look. I'm going to put both of these rectangles on a straight line. They always add to 180 degrees. As you rotate them around, this is 45 degrees clockwise, and it matches 135 degrees counterclockwise. So neither of these are the correct answer. This is the 90 degrees and 90 degrees, so 90 degrees clockwise, 90 degrees counterclockwise. And these two do match the answers. 45 degrees counterclockwise, or 40 degrees in the problem counterclockwise, and 135 degrees or 140 degrees in the problem clockwise.